Hey everybody, welcome to the channel today. Obviously, this is not my Jeep. On today's video, I'm going to be assisting a fellow Mojo member. They recently just picked this up. It still has temp tags on it, and they needed a little help with some electrical upgrades. So we're going to be installing new headlights and fog lights, rock lights, and a backup camera. Also, I've recommended that they get a switch panel with a fuse block. They didn't have that initially, so they're going to order it. So there might be a follow-up video on this where I get to install that. So we're going to jump right in and get to installing the headlights. Okay, so they have chosen X-Sprite as the brand. Be completely honest with you, I've never heard of them, but they came well packaged. Did have a layer of foam over everything, and this is what we're going to get in the kit. So very nice color instructions. Pretty simple to use wiring. Looks like we've got an app and an actual remote, which is nice. And then get one of these out here. So then we've got the lights. So typically you've got your high or low beams and then your high beams on the bottom and then side markers lights. The main reason for the install is they wanted halos so they can color match with their Jeep. And back here on the back, so we've got our standard plug and then plug for the halos. Fog lights are going to be the same deal. So get that in there. Yep, nice. It's got the nice cover. I think when I did my Rubicon, I had to order these parts. So hopefully we can install this without any issues. One in the project is to remove the grille so I can get access to the stock headlights. Okay, so I've already removed these clips. There's 6 of them here on the top. But basically, you just put a flathead screwdriver in there, pop these up, and then they're going to sit like that. And I usually pry back on this, and it pops them out. So as you can see, when this is inserted, it's going to spread these 2 clips here, so it makes a good connection. So then the front grille is just going to slide out here on the bottom. Okay. And we do have to remove the turn signal lights, and the grille's going to come right out. A T15 Torx bit. We've got 4 screws on the corners that hold the chrome bezel in, and then these headlights will come right out. One of the nice things on this Jeep is on the later JKs, Jeep actually switched to an LED headlight. Now, from what I understand, they're supposed to be very bright, but there's no halo option, which is extremely popular. The nice thing with that, dropping that screw, is it went right on the body mount, so I don't have to go fishing for it. And there's only one right way to install this bezel, so you don't necessarily need to worry too much about its orientation. Okay. Well, actually, I'm going to double check some things on this because that should just pop out, and I don't think it is. All right, everybody, new day in the shop. The problem that I ran into last night was that I didn't realize that with the factory Mopar LEDs on the JK, when you took that ring off, the headlight assembly is one piece as opposed to having a bucket like the halogens, and then the halogens come out. So the LEDs that these folks ordered aren't going to work because of the lights that they have. Now you can order the buckets, which that's what I recommend them doing. So we're not going to be able to do the headlights today, but we are going to go ahead and tackle the fog lights. Now with this particular bumper, the fog lights actually mount in this bracket, and as you can see, it's kind of rusty, but then it's just 4 screws here in the back, and this section will get removed, and then there's a new section, a new light we're going to put in there, and should be pretty good. One of the issues, though, is these are pretty rusty, and I mean, it is a 2018, so here in Ohio, we have to deal with such things, but the nice thing is it has 2 bolts here on the bottom of this particular bumper, which again, I don't know what brand it is. I've never seen it before, but makes it pretty easy to remove this and get it out of the bumper, so it's easy to do, and then reattach it. Okay, so I was able to get the old housing out for the fog lights. Note to manufacturers, do not stop using Phillips screws when there's a potential that these things are going to rust. Because I had to cut one of the screws off so that I could get the old section out, because the head was just trashed. Like, couldn't get anything on it, couldn't get any vice grip, so managed to get a hacksaw blade in there and cut it off. So 3 should definitely hold this. It's not too critical, but just stop using these, guys. 2025. A lot better options out there. So I'm gonna put this on this bracket, reinstall it, and then we're gonna start running some wires for the halos. Okay, folks, so we're doing a test here, and the kit comes with this wire tap that goes into the turn signal, and then everything's really nicely labeled. So we got driver's side here, the wire goes up top of the radiator, over here, up to the control box, and I've got the power temporarily connected, and now the halo is flashing with the turn signals. So one of the nice things with that is you're not going to get a hyper flash situation, because the incandescent bulb on the turn signal is still in place. So the CAN bus, the computer in the Jeep, sees that there's a proper amount of draw, but then it's also adding additional light. So if, I don't know, someone might not see the brightness of the incandescent turn signal, hopefully the LED is brighter and they can see it and maybe not have an accident. So I'm going to get the other side done, and that should about do it for the headlights. So it's amazing what happens when you read the instructions, because I was trying to move some of these wires around here and I just didn't have enough throw, but I was like, there should be plenty here. So if you look on the instructions, this control box is actually supposed to be mounted with double-sided tape right there. So got that cleaned off. I think I'm going to wire it up first, and then I'll hard mount it, and then we'll go from there. So you can see I've got the control box mounted here per the instructions, and we've got our power and ground going up to the battery, and then the jumper wire to the turn signal for the passenger side, and then the green one is for the driver side. And then we have the halo lights, control lights hooked up and ran over there as well. So one of the cool things too is my friend here, they wanted additional lights, because it's a Jeep, you have to add all the lights. So this bumper has these pre-hole drills. This is for a winch plate, so this is just cover. It'll come out when they get a winch. But I was worried these bolts are so small that I was gonna have to drill into the bumper, but thankfully they're large enough and it fit this larger bolt here in the mount. So we're gonna add some additional lights for them. So I've got one of the McTuning lights installed here, and I'm gonna do the other one. I gotta say, the connector pin on the back of this is very robust. It's got a good O-ring for a watertight seal, and these feel pretty chunky. So the only downside is that the way the mount is makes it kind of hard to get these on here. So I did actually modify the Allen key that came with it, so that I could get in behind here and tighten it up. But I'm going to get it tightened up and some wires run. Not going to hook these up because we don't have a switch pod yet, but that's on order and should get it, I'd say, in a week or so, and we'll have a follow-up video at some point. All right, I wondered why there were 2 light switches for this, and apparently they've got RGB capability, which is pretty sweet. So I'll hit the other light. Those are pretty nice and bright. So I think that's going to wrap up the front end for right now. So now I just have to tidy up some wires and then I can put the grill on. And then we're going to move on to rock lights. Okay, so it's been a minute since I was filming and I am much dirtier underneath the Jeep. But I'll flip the camera around here so you can see what progress we've made. Okay, obviously purple Jeep. Have to go with the purple rock lights. But I think 2 per tire. It's going to give really good throw. And then got the lights on, but you can still kind of make out the underlights too. And then there are the Make Tuning fog lights. And I think they're just in demo mode. There's an app you can download to actually set them. And I'll let my buddy do that. But got everything hardwired to the battery for right now. The nice thing is they are both fused and the switches are in here in the engine compartment. But once we get that control panel, it'll make it nice so they can turn it on and off inside the Jeep. I was planning on filming the next part, but I'm running out of time, so I am going to do the backup camera install. Pretty simple and straightforward. Basically mount the camera in the back, run a wire up to the head unit, plug it in, flash the computer with JScan, and it'll tell it that the backup camera is now on. Because that head unit is the same head units that was used in the Town & Country and some of the upgraded Grand Caravans. And so, honestly, it has the capability from the factory. You just literally plug in a AV plug. But Jeep, in their infinite wisdom, decided, hey, we don't need that, so we're not going to do it. But at least they fixed it on the JL. So, Jeep owners will always modify and customize their vehicles, and just one more thing I guess we got to do. So I'm gonna hop on that real quick so my buddy can pick up his Jeep. Okay, so I got the camera buttoned up. I put everything together and then it didn't work, and I was like, oh crap, now what? So I played with the plug a little bit online. There's not a lot of information, but the one that I use has the plugs in the upper, I believe it'd be right-hand corner if you're looking at the back of the radio. Ended up happening, those stupid crimp connectors wasn't getting a good connection there, so the camera was not being turned on when you put it in reverse. So I ended up just using those butt connectors, use the heat gun, work fantastic. But now we got the backup camera on, and they're heading over here to pick up their ride, and I got a few more things to button up, but I would say a successful day of a few installs. So if you're here in Chillicothe and you need help with anything, just let me know. And it's one of the reasons why Mojo is such a great organization, because you've got people always willing to help out. And these folks, I don't know if they're new to Jeeping, but this is new to them. And they weren't sure on how to do any of this stuff, but they're upgrades, and they're worthwhile upgrades, especially the backup camera. That's a huge thing Jeep really should have done, but hindsight's 20/20, especially when you got a backup camera. So, but yeah, good day. They've got a lot of apps to learn. I'm going to have them use JScan and a couple others for the different colors on their rig. So we'll see if she changes them around a lot. It is a purple Jeep, so the purple goes really well. Or we do an accent color. We were at a event last night, and there's one Jeep that was orange and purple, and that went really well together. So, like I said, I'm going to finish buttoning this up, and this will wrap up the video. As always, comment, like, subscribe. You guys know the drill. Growing the channel, and hopefully get to 1,000 by the end of the year so I can monetize and start getting paid to make content similar to this, so I can do more videos for y'all. So, not going to get rich off of it, but might help the wife swallow getting a lift. Phrasing. Make it easier for her to get a lift if she knows that, hey, YouTube's helping pay for, 50 cents of it or whatever. So, anyway, appreciate y'all. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on the next adventure.